This is why you need to invest a lot more in yourself. See, most people never actually spend any money or time or energy into growing them. They spend on consuming, they spend on food, they spend on shelter, you need an apartment or a house to live in, or maybe you buy a fancy place if you've got a lot of money. Or maybe you spend on a lot of transportation, and then you gotta pay your other bills, and you've got your phone and you wanna buy a new phone, and then you got this and that. All your money is just sort of bleeding out like that, and your time and energy is also going towards keeping that up by working, and you're just kind of in a perpetual cycle. That's what the average person's life looks like nowadays, and that's okay. It's a decent existence. But I'll tell you what changed my life. I spent money and time that I didn't really have. Somehow I made time and somehow I got some extra money by babysitting or doing some extra chores for somebody, whatever I could do. And I took that extra time and money and I invested it into courses and coaching and masterminds and, audiobooks and, physical books and ebooks and whatever I could get my hands on to really take my personal evolution seriously. See, most people never even buy an actual self-help book or a business course or ever get a coach or mentor. I want your life to be different. You don't have to come and work with me. You don't have to pay me a dime in your entire life. But go to someone, do something other than repeating the cycle over and over again. See, free content like this is great, but you'll never get the exchange that you would when you go pay for something. I have clients, I usually have about 30 to 40 clients minimum at a time, and the kind of growth that they experience is crazy compared to someone who would just watch a video. At the same time, there are so many great courses online right now and so many great books and audiobooks. Audible is a fantastic app. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I love it and I've been using it for 4 or 5 years. These tools are out there, but most people, they want to save when it comes to that. They're careful with that. Oh, you don't want to take, a 100-hour course. That's crazy. That's way too much time to invest. What if it doesn't work? It's way too much to invest $6,000 on this program because what if it doesn't work out? Or 10K here or 20K. When you don't have it, it seems massive. Yet a degree, going to university or college, that's somehow justified even though the kind of job that you'll get is likely much worse. Flip your thinking, reverse the way that you view these things, because it's so easy to be caught up in the old school narrative that you need to get a good job or you need to get good grades, and that just keeps you in that same streamlined path. See, for me, I've learned how to invest and create passive income to the point where I don't have to work if I don't want to. I learned how to build my own business. I'm now scaling my own business. I have team members. These things are not that difficult. Anybody can learn them. I'm not special or super smart or have some crazy weird ability that somebody else doesn't. I wasn't born like this. I was a drop out of school, and then I started looking into self-help stuff, and I kind of stumbled across all of this. And you have too, clearly, if you're watching this channel, which means you have the opportunity to decide. You have the opportunity to decide to join a program or a course or a mastermind or get a coach or do whatever you want to do, and yet you might still not be doing it because you have that resistance inside you that says, God, what if it doesn't work out? But of course, it will never work out if you never try. And for me, the first time I did it, that's what really broke the wall down. And from there, I've never stopped. I mean, I'm doing another course and mastermind and group coaching program right now. I'm still getting coaching from multiple coaches. I did another program a few months ago. I'm constantly investing into myself because I am my greatest asset, right? No house can be worth more, no car, no nothing is more valuable than me. And if I pour value into me, then my value grows exponentially, and those other things, the outside, shrinks. So oftentimes I'll have, friends or even clients sometimes ask, why don't you buy a Lamborghini? Or why don't you buy this fancy car? Why don't you buy a bigger house? Or why don't you buy this other gadget or widget that's so expensive that you can afford? I cannot because I'm not quite there yet. But Raphael, you have the money, why don't you get it? And the reason why is because, why? I mean, first of all, I probably have to pay taxes on it. So that's pretty silly. When you invest into yourself, a lot of the time you can write it off if it's a business course or something related to that. So already you're losing money there. For me, probably taxed about 50%, so there's that, right? Let's be honest here. And then that thing depreciates in value. That fancy car, the moment you drive it off the lot, you lost 20% of its value. if it's new. If it's used, it will also depreciate every year. No matter what, things and objects pretty much depreciate. Now, of course, there's some exceptions to that rule. Like if you buy property, it could increase in value and all that stuff. Great. But for the most part, that's a different type of thinking. You don't buy a house to live in, you buy it to rent it out so that you can make income off of it, right? It's a whole different mentality. Buying objects and buying things is okay for what you need, but you don't want to go beyond that. You want to really focus, the big sums of your money, the big amounts of your time, dedicating it towards evolving you, because you'll have you for the rest of your life. That doesn't really, depreciate. Your knowledge does not depreciate in value. Learning and growing, especially core principles and values that are, central laws of the universe. You don't want to, just learn a get-rich-quick program right now off of this crypto thing that's a hype. It can be good, but for the most part, you shouldn't. Focus on things that will stick around for a long time. I spent a lot of time learning about business and how to grow companies, and then I ended up helping a lot of clients do the same. So I really want you to put your attention on what can I focus on that will increase my value? What can I put time, money, and energy into that will make my worth in the marketplace and also to myself higher? Increase your level of self-esteem and skill level in different aspects. That's where I want you to pour it on. If you're a professional athlete or you're trying to pursue that, then you should be focusing around that area. If you're trying to build a business, focus around that area, right? If you're trying to, if you even want to meditate and move towards enlightenment, that's great too, but there's a lot of opportunity to go to different events and be around high-level people, and most people just never take advantage. They'll sit on their computer or their phone, consume this passively, get a little hit of dopamine, like, oh yeah, this is a good video, feels great now, I'm motivated, and then nothing. And I used to be one of those people, and it's literally the worst thing in the world. I don't want it for you. I want you to evolve and grow. And this isn't some commercial of me saying, hey, I have a course, because I'm not even gonna pitch you anything. I'm telling you this as a friend. I want you to know that this is the difference, right? And people say, well, that course, what if it's a scam? Or what if this thing doesn't work? It doesn't always, but for the most part it does. And you're a smart person, you can do your research, you can look up if there's any horrible reviews or bad experiences that people have had. You have the internet. It's out there if you look for it. So don't get caught up in that old weird mentality where you're trying to save. I used to spend time looking through, like the pamphlets or whatever, trying to find foods that were on discount so that we could get the best deal. And that's just a very bad way to spend your time. If you instead focused on how you can make more money and income, that's, not limitless, but there's way more upside than how much you can save on, your bananas. I don't know. So basically what I'm telling you is go increase your value, go increase your worth by investing into yourself. Maybe you've been thinking about a program or a book or something that you want to buy, whatever level you're at. It doesn't have to be a $10,000 mastermind course. It can be a book. Whatever that is for you, go invest into it. You'll take it more seriously and then consume it and really take it in. Don't just buy a course or a book. Also really, really get the most out of it. Squeeze the juice out of it. And that way you'll grow the most and you'll be far ahead of the curve. You'll just be dominating on a whole nother level in your life that you never thought was possible. At least that's what happened for me. So I can only speak from experience, not for experience. But I want you to know this, and I want you to at least have the opportunity to make that decision for yourself. So go out there, stop being conservative and afraid of what might go wrong, and instead start thinking about how you could grow the very most.